Agriculture. The types of crops that are grown are divided into two categories: food crops and cash crops. Food crops are crops that give us food, example rice, wheat, maize, and millets. Chief food crops of an area are called the staple crops of that area. Cash crops, also called commercial crops, they are grown mostly for sale. Example sugarcane, coffee, tea, rubber, cotton, and jute. Rice is eaten by 50% of the world's population. It grows in a hot, rainy climate. Flat alluvial plains are best for the growth of rice. It should hold water. In hills, it is grown on terraced fields. China, India, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Vietnam are major chief rice producers. In India, rice is grown in Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, and Odisha. Major wheat producers of the world are USA, France, China, India, and Russia. For wheat production, we need a cool climate, moderate amount of rain. It is a winter crop in India. Therefore, it is best grown in this belt. So that would include Punjab, Haryana, remember they eat mostly roti, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and Uttar Pradesh. Sugarcane is mostly grown in Brazil, India and Pakistan, China, and Thailand. For the production of sugarcane, it needs a warm climate, moderately heavy rain. Water logging is harmful to the crop. In India, sugarcane is grown in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Maharashtra, and Uttar Pradesh. Cotton production is in USA, Brazil, India and Pakistan, and China. So you have lots of clothes made in Pakistan, made in India, even in Brazil and USA. Cotton clothes. For cotton production, cotton is called a fiber crop. It needs a hot climate, it needs sunshine, a moderate amount of rain, and in India, Deccan Plateau is an excellent place for production of cotton because of the black soil in it. In India, cotton is grown in Gujarat, Maharashtra, and Andhra Pradesh. Jute production is mostly in India, China, and Bangladesh. Jute is useful to make bags, it's used to even make clothes. For jute production, you need a hot climate and plenty of rain. Alluvial plains and deltas are ideal for the production of jute. In India, jute is mostly produced in West Bengal and also in Assam and in Bihar. Rubber production, India, Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Indonesia are the places where maximum rubber production is. Rubber production needs a hot, wet climate. The chief source of rubber is the latex from the rubber trees. The process of collecting latex from the tree is called tapping. A slanting cut is placed on the tree trunk, then a strip of bark is removed, and the latex flows out into the container underneath. Rubber production in India is mostly in Kerala because of plenty of rain, and you have these thick rubber trees available in Kerala. Rubber production is also in Tamil Nadu and then in Karnataka. Tea production is mostly seen in Kenya, India and China, and Sri Lanka. Tea is a beverage crop. It's grown in a warm climate, and you need plenty of rain throughout the year for it. You need a sloping land and well-drained soil. In India, the biggest producer of tea is Assam, and then we have West Bengal, Himachal Pradesh, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala. Coffee production is in Brazil, Mexico, and Colombia in the west, Ethiopia in Africa, India, Vietnam in Asia. Coffee is also a beverage crop. It needs a warmer climate and a drier climate than tea. It's grown on hill slopes. Coffee production in India is in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala, and also to some extent in Andhra Pradesh and Odisha. Types of farming depending on the land available. There are two types, extensive and intensive. Extensive is the small number of people used to work on a large farm, and it's done in sparsely populated areas, and the work is mostly done by machines. The land is therefore cultivated only once a year. In intensive farming, there are a large number of people working on a small farm, and therefore more money is spent on them. It's done in densely populated areas, and the same plot is cultivated at least twice a year. The types of farming depending on the purpose of the farming. You have subsistence farming and commercial farming. Subsistence farming, the farmers grow food for themselves and for their families, and very little is sold. This is done by poor farmers on small amount of land, and less money is spent on seeds and fertilizers. Shifting farming, also called jhum, is done by tribals in hilly areas. They cultivate a plot for a few seasons and then they move on to another plot. The slash and burn method of destroying the areas in order to start cultivation is one technique that is used in this shifting farming. Commercial farming. Crops are grown mostly for sale. Example, commercial grain farming, like wheat and rice. Dairy farming. Dairy farming is rearing of animals that produce milk. Plantation farming, like rubber plantation, cotton plantation. Machines are used to sow, harvest, and thresh, and you use fewer people and therefore less money spent on them. Mixed farming is a farming in which you produce crops and animals are raised on the same farm. The Green Revolution is the effort made by governments to improve the production of crops and grow more food in order to abate world hunger. The steps that were taken were: new varieties of crops developed by crossbreeding were provided. These were called high-yielding varieties. Pesticides were used. New irrigation systems were used. Machines were used to make farm work easier. In India, the Green Revolution came about in the 1960s, and this turned around our agricultural industry and made us one of the world's largest food producers. The differences between traditional farming and modern farming. Traditional farming uses simple tools like sickles and plows, while modern farming uses machines like tractors and harvesters. Small plots are cultivated in traditional farming. Modern farming uses large plots. Plowing is shallow and the water and nutrients are within the reach of the roots because not much digging done in traditional farming. But in modern farming, there's deep plowing done, and this allows the water and minerals to go right below the roots, and therefore more water and fertilizers needs to be given. In traditional farming, you use natural manures like cow dung. In modern farming, you use chemical fertilizers. Pesticides are not used in traditional farming. Pesticides are used in modern farming. Traditional farming gives less yield, while modern farming gives more yield. The importance of agriculture: food, clothing, jobs, trade. Agriculture in India is of the intensive subsistence type. Agricultural season is the time between sowing and harvesting of crops. There are two seasons in India, which is Kharif and Rabi. Kharif is when you sow in June and you harvest in November. Rabi season is when you sow after the monsoon in October, November, and you harvest in February, March, just before summer starts.